What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm here with you briefly because I wanted to let you know that the off-season program has started up. Guys are coming in. They're reporting in, which is great. There's a couple things I wanted to talk to you about, though, let you know. First and foremost is there have been reports and a lot of stuff going on about, Xavien Howard showed up. He's there, in good faith because the Dolphins are apparently, in contract negotiations with him right now, as they should be. This is the year that they need to lock this kid down. They do not need to let him go, and that's huge for this regime and for this ownership. It's a major decision that they need to make, and they need to make right if, they're going to have a chance at being successful, and so on and so forth. And so, it's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be really interesting to watch how that works out. And they got to, man, because, look, for me, at the end of the day, the ownership has been the biggest issue with this team in recent years, certainly in the Stephen Ross era. I love him for a lot of reasons. He does great things in the community. He, put up his own money for the stadium, as he should, because he's a super wealthy, rich NFL owner, and they should do that. There's a lot of reasons why I love him, but he has not proven to be able to make the proper football decisions, and I don't think he's making them now. Or hasn't, whatever. So, I mean, like I said, I like the coaching staff as people, and I like them for their resumes, but that's not going to guarantee success. And everything that they've done since then, since they've come in, I believe has only been a detriment to the team. But you guys already know that. And the organization. So, anyway, but that's a huge thing. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. We do need to keep an eye on that. They need to get that done this year, man, before he even can attempt or get close to free agency, and all that stuff. They need to lock him down now. That's a super huge thing that they need to get right. The other thing is the draft. They really, really need to make sure that they get the draft right this year. Because if they fuck up those two things, then I'm going to be, pretty much done with Stephen Ross and the ownership, right? At that point. Now, the regime, it'll be a failure on the regime's, the front office and the coaching staff as well on their part, but I do advocate for them to have the 5 years no matter what, despite the fact that I don't agree with the majority of things that they've done thus far, especially considering a good portion of it is very unnecessary and self-inflicted. But they should have the 5 years regardless of whether I agree with them. Okay. But they do need to get these things right. It is, absolutely paramount. Now, just because if they do get these two things wrong, just because I'm done on Stephen Ross doesn't mean I'd be done on the organization or on the rest of the organization, right? So if they mess up this Xavien Howard situation in this upcoming draft, I'm going to be done with Stephen Ross. I'm going to want new ownership, but I will hold off on that until the regime has proven if they can get it right or not, right? They could save him if they get it right. But regardless of what happens with Xavien Howard in this upcoming draft, if they fuck those things up, then yes, they will be black marks. But again, just one more time, I advocate for them to have the full 5 years regardless. Also, I wanted to comment that, since all the players are reporting and stuff, there's been talk, there's been tweets and so on and so forth. I just found it interesting because the Dolphins, they put up some little videos or whatever. I believe I saw it on Bleacher Report first. I did retweet them, so you guys should check them out yourself if you haven't seen them, of some of the guys. It was like Xavien Howard, Bobby McCain, Kenny Stills. These guys were walking in, and they do this every year, of course, because they like to, whatever. Anyway, so you guys know it's exciting for us. Well, anyway, so in these videos, man, they looked miserable, and there were even comments on these videos that they do not look happy. They do not look happy. Bobby McCain, Kenny Stills, these guys, those were the only ones really that they saw, but they do not look happy. They were ignoring the cameras. They just had these sour looks on their faces. I don't know. Could be nothing, and certainly it's only a small part of the overall contextual information that is important for our evaluations, but it is a point, and it is one that you could use as a valid part of an argument as to why things are crumbling in Miami right now at a pretty tremendous rate. So we'll see, man. Because God damn it, I didn't want to do it, but so Omar Kelly put some stupid tweet up that I retweeted with a comment, but he said that the majority of people, the players in the Dolphins locker room, didn't like Gase, but there's no indication of that whatsoever. No public indication of that whatsoever. Omar Kelly's a fucking moron, and he always he always acts like he has some insider information that everybody else doesn't have. But when Gase got fired, half the locker room or more, including the by all reports from Gase himself, Armando Salguero, other people who reported it, at least half the locker room and coaching staff was lined up outside of his office to say goodbye. There were players, Kenny Stills, Jakeem Grant, or Albert Wilson rather. Players, Frank Gore had said something, right? There were players that did say publicly that they didn't like this, right? And look, I mean, now, the players they don't appear to be happy. They don't appear. Appearances can be deceiving, and it might mean nothing, but they don't appear to be happy. So look, man, look, for Dolphins fans who think we're going to have a good season, or for anybody who thinks that the Dolphins are not tanking, I'm sorry to say this, but you're fooling yourself. I hope I'm wrong, but you got to prove me wrong. And until they do, I'm just saying, man, it's going to look to be a very miserable year, a long year. Next year, I have a feeling will be the same, especially if they continue to make wrong choices. And then eventually it's more likely than not that this regime will get fired before their 5-year window is up. And Brian Flores has a guaranteed 5-year contract. So if they do fire him before then, we'll still have to pay him money, just like we're paying Adam Gase this year, despite the fact he's not on the team. So, we'll see what's up, man. But it's not looking very good. But, the off-season program does start today, so the guys are reporting in, and they got time. This front office, this regime has time. So, we'll see how it all plays out. But those two things coming up, Xavien Howard's contract situation and this upcoming draft, are going to be huge. So let's see what happens and go from there. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I hope you guys enjoy my show. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.